there was a man who ran marathons. Not because he was fast, not because he trained every day, but because somewhere along the way, he simply forgot to stop. Let me tell you his story, and why it might be the most important story you hear this year. Welcome back. If you're new here, this channel is about one thing: waking up to the life you were meant to live. I'm glad you're here. Let's get into it. Cliff Young was a 61-year-old Australian potato farmer. No sponsor, no special shoes. He showed up to the 1983 Sydney to Melbourne ultramarathon, a 544-mile race, wearing overalls and gumboots. The professional athletes laughed. The crowd stared. He shuffled. That's the only word for it. He didn't run. He shuffled. This slow, strange, old man gait that looked like he'd never finish a city block, let alone 544 miles. But here's what nobody knew about Cliff Young. He had spent his entire life chasing sheep across fields for days at a time without stopping. He didn't know about the rule that ultramarathon runners sleep 6 hours every night during the race. So he didn't. While every other runner slept, Cliff shuffled through the dark. By the final day, he was ahead. This 61-year-old farmer, in gumboots, crossed the finish line first, beating the world record by nearly 2 days. When a reporter asked him how he did it, Cliff said simply, "I just kept going." I want you to sit with that for a second. Cliff didn't win because he was the best. He won because he didn't know the rules. He didn't know quitting was an option. And I have to ask you honestly, what rules have you been following that were never actually real? What have you told yourself you can't do because someone else said it wasn't possible? How many times have you stopped right before your version of the finish line because you thought that's what you were supposed to do? The world is full of people who are smarter than you, better trained than you, better resourced than you. And most of them will quit, not because the road is too hard, but because they believe it is. Cliff Young had no such belief. He just shuffled forward, day and night, through blisters and darkness and a crowd that had already decided he was a joke. He shuffled forward. Here's what I want you to take from this. You are allowed to be slow. You are allowed to look ridiculous. You are allowed to not have the best gear or the most impressive resume or the right background. What you are not allowed to do, what none of us can afford, is to let someone else's idea of the rules stop you from finishing your race. Because the only person who gets to decide when you stop is you. And maybe, just maybe, if you forget the rules long enough, you'll do something nobody thought was possible. Call to action. So here's your question today, and I want you to sit with it. What is one thing you've stopped trying because someone, or something, convinced you the race wasn't for you? Write it down, say it out loud, and then tomorrow morning, I want you to shuffle. Even one step, even one ugly, ungraceful, gumboot-wearing step forward. Because Cliff Young didn't need to look like a runner. He just needed to keep moving. I'll see you in the next one.